Hello everyone, Bardic Nerd here, returning with my Let's Play of Millennia, playing as Great Britain. I have just altered my audio setup a bit, so it may sound a bit different, although some of the other recordings I have already done that may come out after this have been already done, so I have the old audio. And I will be probably fiddling with the audio a bit in the future, to make other changes. But so if you notice a difference in audio quality, that is what it is. So this is also one of the ones that is recorded after the fact, and I've been experimenting with various different ways to do that. So right now we are currently preparing to getting everything in place so that we will go to war with Nigeria. And that will happen at some point, relatively soon, I think. We have gotten to the Age of Revolution, and in the Age of Revolution, a revolution spawns for everyone. And so after I fight that off, I go to war with Nigeria. It spawns 8 turns in, as I recall. So should be going to war with Nigeria in about 9 to 10 turns. Probably about 10 turns or so, thereabouts. So still getting stuff in position and preparing everything for that war. Until then, it's mostly just build up, which is not always the most exciting thing, but a thing I tend towards doing a lot of. So, building up economy and stuff a bit. We might skip over a little bit, as just me filling in some of the economy stuff after the fact when I can't remember exactly what I was doing then is not always the most exciting, and not something that particularly holds my attention at all either. And I am ultimately just doing this for myself, but I hope it's something that you will enjoy as well, so make this as interesting for all of us as possible. I'm going with these now that I have uncovered where the rare earths are, I know where it is safe to prospect for gold and not destroy a potential rare earth deposit. So I am going to send some of my prospectors to prospect for gold. And now I also know where there's oil, so I'm gonna send pioneers to get the oil with an outpost. Because oil, we must have all the oil, obviously. And I realized that you can create pioneers from conquistadors much more cheaply than you can create pioneers normally, via the engineering power. So yay, we can get much cheaper pioneers. And we do need another outpost over there to connect the road fully, but we will be doing that shortly. So yeah, just getting the outposts online over there. And we'll skip ahead a bit, I think. Yes, so there is the create pioneer from the conquistador. One of the benefits of going into the age of discovery. You get conquistadors, which are useful in that they unlock the ability to create pioneers eventually. So yeah, I end up just creating a conquistador with my exploration XP, and then using it to create a pioneer over there, because that's a fair bit cheaper than what the cost has gotten to an engineering XP by now. So handy little thing, but only accessible if you go into the age of discovery instead of the age of Renaissance. I think it usually is something like that. Yeah, I think it's usually the age of Renaissance, and instead you can choose discovery if you have 5 docks. Which of course in this game I did, because I was very heavily invested in my coastal improvements in this game because of the ancient seafarers national tradition that I chose, and having so many good sea resources nearby. Alright. So, we're gonna just skip ahead a bit here. And there we go, some gold. Where once there was none. My prospectors have found gold. Excellent. It shall serve us well. One thing that I end up realizing here is that my outposts are actually extremely productive. Much more productive in some cases than my regions, because of the things that I chose. The combination of choosing empire as a government and colonialism as a national spirit has made my outposts really, really good, especially if I set them to colony specialization, which then gives some. The outpost itself produces a bit of gold and culture. Though if I set them to castle specialization, it would produce a little bit of other stuff too, which is useful, but not the highest priority for this. So, the empire government, the innovation from it does does increase the amount of goods you get from outpost trade depots, trade outpost harvesting things. It increases the amount of goods you get from that by 1. And normally they would produce 1. So with that, they produce 2. But the colonialism national spirit gives you the trade factory outpost improvement, which harvests 2 goods instead of 1 good. So if you have both that innovation and trade factories, then you get 3 goods, which in some cases is more than you would be able to get from any region, regular region improvement. Not in the case of all things, but in the case of some things, it is more than you would be able to get. So for like oil, and rare earths, you can actually get a lot more by extracting them via outposts if you have done these particular paths, empire and colonialism. So with that, it is very useful to establish a lot of outposts. But the outposts will then have to be guarded generally, which is a problem sometimes. As you will see during my war with Nigeria, they attack a bunch of my outposts and do end up destroying a number of them, which I then have to rebuild, unfortunately. So I think I've gotten all the units produced that I want, although I will end up like producing some garrison units for places. But oh, I do want to produce one more unit for that, I guess. Yeah, produce another. Apparently I decided to produce a scout unit for it, I think. Um, yeah, just so it can do some scouting when it's around, though that ends up not being very useful. I don't really end up doing much with that, but it was a thought when I did that. I'm sure if like scouting ended up being more important, it would be nice, but in this context, it really isn't terribly important. But it was an interesting thought. And there we go. Now I have my road connecting all my places. All my places, I believe, are now connected by road. I think there might be one or two somewhere that aren't, but I think all of them are. I think. And set the outpost to a colony. Yes, build some various different improvements in the land around here. Just like abbeys and armories. They're not, amazingly useful, but they're something. So, just get garrisons in places. I do forget to garrison my outposts quite as well as I should, unfortunately, which does prove to my detriment later on. But, well, I'll suffer for that later on. And up here, we're just killing a bunch of barbarians. Which is, oh, hey, I found one of the sea goody huts, which appear in the Age of Discovery. If you go into the Age of Discovery, sea goody huts appear, which is kind of neat. Yep. Alright. Skip ahead a bit. Alright, I just got militarization. Help me now. I'm researching applied science. Allow me to build power plants. Militarization means that I can upgrade my ranged units, which were arquebusiers, into early machine guns, which will be quite handy. Make them much more deadly, which of course we all like. We like deadly things. Not much else going. Killing some barbarians, of course. Just utterly blowing them out of the water, quite literally. There are a lot of them, so just blowing them all to bits. And waiting for the revolution to spawn, which should happen reasonably soon. Looking to see if there's other places I want to establish outposts. I think there isn't. I think I said there isn't there, and that I just want to control those places through my regions. Might end up establishing a town at some point. Not right away, but eventually. I can't recall though. It's been I played this one a little while ago. I've been jumping back and forth between what I'm playing, because I may get a little bit distracted sometimes, as you might have guessed. The fact that I have currently 3 different Let's Plays going on, plus a guide series. And I'm planning to do a different Let's Play also next week. That'll be a little bit different, with something new planned for it as a surprise. We'll see how that comes out, but I'm excited about that for when it does happen. But that one will be just a short one for a very short game that should have just a few sessions. It's a visual novel that takes only a few hours to complete. But for this game here, I've just discovered that there's rare earths deposits in those places. So I got rid of the old mines that I had there, and I'm going to, when I get the technology, put rare earth mines there. I should have waited to get rid of the mines until I had the technology to make the rare earth mines. I'm not quite sure why I didn't do that. That would have been rather more smart of me, actually. It was kind of silly of me to just get rid of those without having stuff. Yeah, I remember I'm blessed with a great abundance of rare earths in this playthrough, which will mean that I can make a whole lot of computers later on, which means that I will just speed through tech in the end game. Which will be fun. I get like one more balloon to send to one of my armies. Not that they ever really end up being very useful, but I had an idea that they might be an interesting addition to my armies. They proved not particularly, but they're okay. Okay. We're gonna skip ahead a little bit here, probably not too long. But a little bit. Here we go. 2 turns until rebels spawn for the 8th revolution. Well, 2 turns. That'd be exciting. Rebels, rise up. Rise up, people. You have nothing to lose but your chains. I mean, what? Let's see, what am I doing here with this stuff? I think I end up getting a Eureka, maybe, to boost my researching. Well, I'm not sure if I do. Not quite sure. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Alright, well. Alright, so I'm just doing a little bit of selecting buildings to build in my cities. It's the final thing that I'm doing before the revolution spawns, because I think the revolution spawns at the start of next turn, if I am correct. Which I'm not always correct. Many times am I not correct. Whenever I don't listen to my wife, I'm not correct. Among other people that when I don't listen to, I'm not correct. Whenever I don't listen to my queer platonic partner, I'm also not correct. Well, unless it's about directions. If I listen to her about directions, I am definitely not correct, because she is always wrong when it comes to directions. It's uncanny. But we are, looks like, so this is coming to a close for this session, so I believe that we get the spawning of the revolution and then save the rest for next session, but we are just doing some stuff before we end the turn, building some improvements in places, which is good to have, certainly. Why are we making a bunch of cloud farms in place? I don't know. Do we have like a need for grain there? I didn't think we did, but maybe we do, actually. I'm not sure. I guess we're actually a little bit low on food there. Normally, I find that don't need to make a lot of farms, but sometimes I guess it depends on what the situation is. Of course, what you've chosen for national spirits. Some help you a lot in other areas. Some reduce your need for food. But we are coming to, yes. Yes, the revolution has formed. Rebels have spawned out all of your regions. Vive la révolution, as they say in France. When they're chopping off the nobles' heads. Let's avoid having our head chopped off, I suppose. That would not be fun. We're gonna chop off rebel heads. That is what we will do. There are a bunch of them around. There's like 2 groups for each region, as I recall. Yeah, 2 groups for each region spawn. They're, you know, like have like a deck. They're just a single unit of rebels in each, I think. So not too horribly anything to fear. But you know, if you leave your cities unguarded and they manage to gang up on one city, it can cause problems. But we are coming to the close of this session, so we will be picking up with this again next time. But until then, take care.